You probably have seen Rodin's Statue of the Thinker. You know the one. Guy seated on a rock, leaning forward, elbow on his thigh, back of his hand supporting his chin. He looks deep in thought. And for nearly 150 years, people have speculated about just what he is thinking.
What's the meaning of life?
Why are we here?
What's our purpose in the universe?
But let's be honest, the guy is naked, so he's probably a bit weird, okay? More than likely, he's thinking about things like,
Why is it nearly impossible to sneeze with your eyes closed?
How come there's no F in the word laugh?
Why does my line at the grocery store seem to move slower than all the others?
Now, if this podcast had been around back in 1880, when the thinker was first conceived, we could have easily have helped, because those are exactly the kind of questions we love to tackle. So if you too have been puzzling over life's little mysteries, it's time to strike the thinker pose and let's do this thing. But maybe make sure you have some clothes on. No sense in freaking out the neighbors, right? In the meantime, welcome to the podcast that answers some of the questions you've always wondered about.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. Clowns. The red noses, the floppy shoes, the endless parade of seltzer bottles. Once upon a time, clowns were funny. We laughed. We cheered. And now, we lock our doors when we see one at night. So if you always wondered, when did clowns become creepy? Clowns used to be the heart of the circus. Colorful chaos wrapped in makeup, often wearing a pie in the face. There was Bozo the Clown, the TV superstar of the 50s and 60s.
But it's out of this world!
And Ronald McDonald, the friendly ambassador of burger and fries. I mean, the guy literally wanted to make you smile and maybe buy a Happy Meal.
Now that deserves a first-class meal.
But somewhere along the way, the clown car took a hard turn and ended up in Nightmareville. By the late 1970s and 80s, pop culture had decided,
what if clowns, but terrifying?
Enter the spooky clown doll from Poltergeist, Stephen King's Pennywise the Clown from It,
Well, float down here.
and killer clowns from outer space.
There are clowns and they are killing people over.
Somewhere Bozo's spirit is probably whispering,
Wait, what happened?
why the change? Who knows? Maybe we started to see the irony of it all. Or maybe we just watched too many late-night horror movies. Or maybe it's the makeup itself. We've talked before about the uncanny valley, the weird psychological phenomenon where we feel uneasy when something is nearly human, but not quite. It's why we don't trust mannequins, porcelain dolls, or certain CGI animation. Polar Express, we're still looking at you. So that makes clowns nightmare fuel. But the pendulum may be swinging back. Plenty of clown performers are reclaiming the fun. Some are even billing themselves as non-scary clowns, which honestly seems like a very low bar.
Hi, kids! I promise not to ruin your birthday and haunt your dreams forever, okay?
So the next time you see a clown, remember, it's probably just someone in face paint trying to make you laugh. Then again, it could be a supernatural creature with a frozen grin, red wig, and piercing eyes that somehow say,
You're next.
The Always Wondered podcast.
You know how much we love exploring some of our favorite foods. And today, we begin with a breakfast that sounds like it's trying to communicate with us.
Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies.
So have you always wondered what makes Rice Krispies go snap, crackle, and pop? Well, let's start with the science. Rice Krispies are made by taking rice, cooking it, then puffing it at high temperatures to form little air pockets inside.
Kind of like bubble wrap, only edible.
Yep, and then when you add milk, it messes with the structure. Air escapes, walls collapse, and tiny cereal implosions occur.
In purely scientific terms, it's the demolition derby of breakfasts.
Most other cereals just don't do this because they are puffed the same way. Cornflakes, roasted. Cheerios, baked. And Raisin Bran? Well, raisins don't make sounds either, unless they're silently screaming to be let out of the box.
I used to have a respected career as a grape. Now look at me.
And in the 1930s, Kellogg's needed a way to explain why your cereal was talking back to you. So enter the three lovable mascots, Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Snap, crackle, pop, talking just to you.
Now these three elves are brothers. And when they first arrived on the scene, they looked like kindly forest grandpas. But as time went by, they looked more like an animated boy band.
Maybe the fountain of youth is high-quality puffed rice.
Yeah, it could be. But the marketing captured the imagination of the consumers. And even the Rolling Stones did a Rice Krispies jingle.
Wake up in the morning and snap around the place.
Oh, and here's a weird twist. In the 1950s, a fourth member of the crew arrived. A sleek atomic-aged mascot named Pow, whose job was to promote the power of whole grain nutrition.
Snap, crackle, pop, and pow!
However, Pow didn't stick around too long. Consumers apparently hated the dude, so Kellogg's strapped a jetpack to his back and blasted him into obscurity, making Pow the Chuck Cunningham of breakfast cereal mascots. So the next time you pour a bowl of Rice Krispies and the cereal sounds like it's sending Morse code from the breakfast bunker, remember, it's physics that makes the sound and genius marketing that makes it memorable.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hey, you gotta love a great heist movie. A tuxedo-clad star hanging from a glass ceiling trying to grab the prize artifact without being detected. Always exciting. But let's put that fantasy world aside for a bit and come back to reality for our next question. So have you always wondered what was the most valuable theft of all time? Well, spoiler alert, the guy who pulled this off was less Ethan Hunt and more Homer Simpson. No! But he proved that sometimes fact is stranger than fiction. So let's set the scene. The place, Paris, France. The date, August 21st, 1911. The day the world lost its smile. It was the theft of the most famous painting in the world, the Mona Lisa. But the heist from the Louvre wasn't the work of a shadowy art syndicate. Nope, it was Vincenzo Peruggia, an Italian handyman who had worked at the museum.
It was a normal day. I take a coffee break, I take a lunchtime nap in the broom closet, but today I take the painting too.
When no one was watching, Vincenzo simply removed the painting from its frame.
Scusi, she look better in my living room.
He wrapped the Mona Lisa in a smock and walked out the door. No alarms, no sensors, no Mission Impossible music, just right out the door.
Arrivederci, baby.
For more than 2 years, the French police were baffled.
Sacre bleu!
Meanwhile, Vincenzo kept the Mona Lisa stashed in a trunk in his Paris apartment. But late in 1913, he became a bit cocky and brought the painting to an art dealer in Florence, Italy. Some reports say he was actually expecting a reward.
I thought she'd be happier back in her home country.
But instead, he was arrested, convicted, and wound up serving several months in jail. Ironically, the notoriety of the theft made the Mona Lisa's popularity explode. Today, as many as 10 million people a year flock to the Louvre, standing in line for up to 2 hours just to see her. And I'm sure that many of those people have the exact same reaction as Vincenzo may have had when he first got her back to his apartment all those years ago.
I thought she'd be a bigger, but still. Nice smile.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, that is going to wrap up another episode of Always Wondered. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and hit subscribe and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We are everywhere, and you just can't get rid of us. Kind of like glitter after a craft project.
Good Lord, it's in my shoe.
As always, we leave you with one to ponder. And since we just talked about the Mona Lisa, we'll make this one Mona Lisa related as well. Have you always wondered why the Mona Lisa has no eyebrows or eyelashes? It's very strange. Some people think they just faded over the years, or maybe Da Vinci simply ran out of paint. I don't know. Until next time, stay curious and keep wondering. I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
The Always Wondered podcast.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.